Good morning, everybody. Let's have a look at a little bit of everything. I try not to go into too much detail. It's still early. I've got to take the kids to school and stuff. But let's get started. So this is your Dixie. And again, yesterday was a bit of a decent day. So we had the ECB, Bank of England as well, but mostly the ECB causing a little bit of a ripple in the markets, really. I've been talking about this. I was short on the DAX for the night before yesterday. So that worked out well. That was my largest position that I took yesterday, that I was playing yesterday. But it was still a decent day for trading, and also an opportunity, in my opinion, an opportunity to buy into certain things. At the end of yesterday, we came down for Bitcoin to hit that major area. That's all the threes. I know we dropped a little lower than that, but yesterday we were talking about the 200 exponential or retest of the golden cross on the 4-hourly, which is more or less where we tagged here. So entry points for me, and I think a few others on the Telegram had done it too. Not that I'm running a signals group, but it seems, I mean, retests of golden crosses are relatively normal. We are getting a rejection so far on your 21 exponential on the 4-hourly, and I think just as crypto has been weak this entire time, it's a little scared to move on its own. Wants American markets to open as well, but as from what I can see, the S&P futures and Nasdaq futures so far are opening ever so slightly green to neutral, so it's allowing for certain moves. But let's just focus on the Dixie for the moment. So the Dixie's getting rejections every single time on the 10 exponential. No difference yesterday. The Dixie moved up, bang, 10 exponential, back down again. Stands to reason that we'll try that once again today. So we're talking 104.7, and if that finally does break, then yeah, we can move up to 105.6, and then obviously we'll move on to the weekly to show even higher term timeframes. Now, without having to repeat myself with every single video, I suppose this has been no different. But I've spoken about this entire move since before it happened, since before the downtrend happened, and since before the bounce happened. So I talked about we were going to go down to the 50 exponential before we started to go down. I spoke about the bounce at the 50 exponential before we got to that, before we even got rejected on here. I said this will be the move, boing boing. Now, yeah, certain things can change, obviously, but it's not any different to how I've been talking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks. It is week 9 now. It's no different. So let's not get too. It's not. I know people always ask me the same questions. Oh, where do you think this is going? Where do you think this is going? I mean, if you watch my videos, you should have heard me talking about it for ages. So, if we do get a bounce here, and we're waiting for the weekly to close. If we close a weekly above the 50 exponential on the weekly, there's a very good chance that we bounce up to at least the 10 or maybe even the 20. So we're talking 108.8 at the moment. They're all descending moving averages, so offer a resistance at lower and lower zones with every passing week. So that's not changed. The difference is that the euro still doesn't want to give it up. All right, still doesn't want to give it up. The ECB said yesterday that they're going to raise rates by 50 basis points, and then they're going to continue to raise rates by 50 basis points indefinitely. That's what they said. Now, judging by the situation that that Europe is in, with war on their doorstep, not that it's likely to cross over, but it could. But the energy crisis for them, and all other kinds of issues that they've got going on in Europe, especially the inflation, obviously. Their economy seems relatively doomed, for a decent recession. They say it's going to be short and shallow, and that might be the case. I'm not looking for anything massive and catastrophic, but we're not looking for the euro to really dig itself out of this hole that it's in right now. It's being very stubborn, I would say, at the moment. Very stubborn, doesn't quite want to give up the game, and from a technical perspective, it shouldn't really want to give it up at this particular level. It's only when we start to break down below zones, and basically 106 closing below there is good to go, and the 200 exponential as well, which is all in this back within this ascending triangle. Breaking below all of these, then yeah, I suppose we'll look for parity, and I think probably we will get parity at some point. But for the moment, it's being very stubborn, and that's what's helping the Dixie. I suppose not skyrocket. Anyway, you've all come here for crypto, and again, we've got a live stream tonight for Patreon members. It might be an interesting one because there is a good chance, just like I said on the last live stream, really, that we're going to get an alt season. Now, this isn't an alt season like 2021's alt season. It's not even an alt season like the Everything Bounce. The original Everything Bounce back in the summer. It's not going to be one of those. But it could be one. And all we're going to look for is certain setups on altcoins, really, because I'm sure there will be some with their Bitcoin pairs as we approach this area on the Bitcoin dominance for a rejection. I made a tweet yesterday about alt seasons just to get some popularity. Please, somebody like me, alt season. You know, that's what the other YouTubers say, but I say it for a reason, is because it looks as though there could be a small alt season. So it's not. I'm not just saying it to get popular. Not that it's working anyway, but there is a chance of a small alt season from here. And again, it'll be an alt season that could last a couple of days, maybe a week or two. Who knows? But if we're going to get a rejection, it's around this area we'll get one, and we'll be looking for some kind of reaction for alts. So, long story short, wait for American markets to open. I would imagine we're going to get a bit of a bounce. This is the S&P on the daily, Bollinger Band bottom. Also, if we just move it to a weekly, that was a fine rejection for the top of the descending triangle. Just turn off all the noise. We can see how clean that is now. Again, you know, everything bounced 2.0. I told you. We'll treat it as a bear market rally. See where we go from there. Perfect. That's where we got out of the everything bounce, the original one. We got in here and out there. We did that. We got in here and out here on the everything bounce 2.0. Now we can see the rejection taking place. That's fine. But are we going to get a support? Well, if we do, we're below a major area of significance, below the weekly 20, below the 10 exponential on the weekly. So really, if we're going to get picked up, it's actually going to be a little bit further down from where we are right now, unless, of course, the weekly can suck itself back up into this area, recognizing that the daily is at that Bollinger Band's bottom. So I'm not going to make any promises to you here. Like I say, I'm trading derivatives at the moment, and only a little bit of spot. And the spot, surprisingly, this time round, is not stocks or commodities. It's actually crypto that I've been buying. Yeah, derivatives all the way really for these stocks, because they have the cleanest of all the charts. Really, you can't deny how crisp and clean this is played out. And again, in, out, and then this time round shorted. So excellent stuff. Anyway, like I said, there's not much difference to what I'm saying today. There's what I'm saying the entire time. The only difference is that we are looking at a potential alt season brewing, and it might not start today, might not start tomorrow. At some point, maybe next week, if we continue to see a rejection from this level, we'll see Satoshis go back into the alts. So altcoins will gain on their Bitcoin pair. They might not actually make you dollar value money, but they will definitely accumulate you some Bitcoin if we catch the right charts. That's the best way to think about what it is that we're doing here when we're calling an alt season. It's not like the alt season, like I say, that I called over here at the absolute top, which made many of us extremely wealthy. It's not going to be like one of those. It just can't be. Now, one of those will come one day, but not for a long, long time. Anyway, I'm going to leave it with you there. There's really not much more to say. We've got to wait for American markets to open, and that's not till a little bit later. So maybe I'll see you on the live stream tonight. There's links in the description below if you want to join the Patreon. Discord and Telegram are free. Otherwise, hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.